There is definitely something going on behind the scenes in Indiana. No, it's not just a bad shooting night or a poor defensive rotation. What we're witnessing is something far more serious, something systemic. From the locker room to the front office, from the head coach to the assistants, the atmosphere around the Indiana Fever has turned toxic. And at the center of it all stands Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's brightest star, now visibly fed up, and finally letting the world see it. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is the third publicized moment in a single game where tension between Caitlin and the Fever's coaching staff boiled over. This isn't random. This isn't coincidence. It's a pattern, and it's only getting worse. During that game, Caitlin Clark had a visible, heated exchange with not one but two assistant coaches. And then, as if punctuating her disgust, she stormed into the locker room and slammed the door so hard it nearly came off the hinges. This wasn't just emotion, this was eruption. Inside, voices clashed, frustration echoed, and it was clear to anyone within earshot, the Indiana Fever are in crisis mode. Caitlin Clark has officially hit her breaking point, and the one person who should be taking the most heat, Stephanie White. Yes, the coach, who was once praised for bringing structure and identity to a rebuilding team, is now looking like the architect of a basketball implosion. White and Clark may respect one another on the surface, that much is still intact. But that respect isn't masking the deeper truth. There's a glaring philosophical divide between how Clark sees the game and how White wants to play it, in that locker room. The heat of frustration didn't just burn the walls. It exploded into the basketball world like a flash grenade. What happened didn't stay behind closed doors, spilled out into viral clips, breathless tweets, YouTube breakdowns, and emotionally charged fan threads. And now everyone is asking the same question: is Caitlin Clark about to walk? Let's be real here. Caitlin Clark is the Indiana Fever. She's the reason the franchise went from being a punchline to a primetime ticket. Her face is plastered all over WNBA marketing. Her jersey sales are record-breaking, and her highlights alone have dragged Indiana games into national headlines. And yet, instead of building an offense around her unique genius, the coaching staff is burying her under a philosophy that feels allergic to star power. That viral footage showed it clearly. Clark didn't just brush off the assistant coaches, she ignored them with surgical precision. Her glare said everything. Austin Kelly, one of the assistants, tried to speak, but Clark had already mentally exited. Her eyes, usually so focused and calculated, radiated one message: enough. This is a player who single-handedly dragged Indiana from obscurity into the spotlight. And now, the same franchise is ghosting her talents, misusing her on the floor, and throwing her into a broken system that looks like it was built for anything but a generational guard. Let's not forget what the Fever did in the offseason. They built their entire campaign around Caitlin. Commercials, the promos, the jersey sales, every dollar they spent was anchored to her stardom. And yet, when game time comes, she's treated like a role player, like an interchangeable piece. She's hidden in the corner, running off ball sets, while others fumble possession after possession. It's absurd. It's insulting. And it's starting to look intentional. And fans have noticed they're not whispering anymore. They're screaming. Scroll through social media and you'll see comments like, "Refund my emotional investment," and "I paid to see Clark, not this clown show." This isn't just fan frustration. This is collective betrayal. It's even rumored that Clark told Stephanie White to sit Kelsey Mitchell and Natasha Howard because they don't pass. Now, whether that's true or not, the fact that it's even believable says everything. Because the rift is real. You can see it, can feel it. This is no longer a disagreement about basketball. This is a war for control of the team, a team that was supposed to revolve around its generational star. And the tension is growing by the minute. Clark hasn't had a blow-up. It's like this since entering the WNBA. At Iowa, she was passionate, vocal, but always composed. She respected her coaches, even when games got tough. That same demeanor carried over in her rookie WNBA season. But now, the mask is off. The frustration is visible. The fire is uncontrolled. And Caitlin Clark is no longer hiding her disgust. Let's go back to the root. This tension didn't begin yesterday. Started months ago when Stephanie White made a new infamous statement about Luka Doncic. She claimed the Mavericks played better without him, Her exact words, "The ball is moving. It's popping." Multiple guys getting involved. Fans were stunned. Analysts were confused. Was she really suggesting that an MVP caliber player was hurting his team just by being dominant? Fast forward to Indiana. Replace Luka with Caitlin Clark, and suddenly White's philosophy starts to make a twisted kind of sense. She doesn't believe in transcendent players. She believes in systems. She believes in the egalitarian idea that everyone should share the ball, that no one should dominate touches. And while that might work in theory, in practice, it's turning Caitlin Clark into a glorified spot-up shooter. Let's call it what it is. BASKET, malpractice. You don't draft a generational point guard and then shackle her creativity. You don't market her as the face of your franchise and then relegate her to the bench in the fourth quarter. But that's what's happening, and it's showing on the court. Clark's body language is subdued. Her facial expressions are flat. Her energy is off. And you can tell she's no longer inspired. She's over it. So are the fans. So are the analysts. Now even her teammates look confused. The offense is clunky. The spacing is garbage. Natasha Howard cutting into the lane while Clark drives. That's not basketball. It's sabotage. And the numbers don't lie. Clark's usage rate has dropped nearly 20%. Her scoring is down. Her assists are stagnant. The same player who set the college world on fire is now stuck running predictable sets and watching defenders collapse on her while her teammates stand around, unsure of what to do. And it's not like this is new for White. Her time at Vanderbilt, with Caroline Peck, a disaster. 2 seasons, 7 wins apiece. Talent wasted, fan base disillusioned. Sound familiar? Now, she's brought that same broken blueprint to the WNBA. The only difference, now the entire world is watching. National broadcasts, major sponsors, front-page sports coverage, and they're all watching the Indiana Fever. It's crumble under a coach who refuses to adjust. Even after Clark returned from a groin injury, White changed the lineup again. 5 games on the bench, and suddenly Clark re-enters into a new starting 5. It was chaos. Disconnected. The Fever lost to an expansion team, and Clark looked completely out of rhythm. That's not a player issue. It's a coaching failure. The cruelest twist. The Fever won the Commissioner's Cup game without her, and Stephanie White used that win to prove her system works. But here's the thing. Nobody is buying tickets. To see a team that wins without their superstar? That's not the future. That's a red flag. And through it all, Clark still shines and flashes. Still drops 17 points, still delivers dimes that make ESPN. But those moments feel accidental now. Leaks of brilliance through a cracked dam. Not the consistent dominance we expected. Then there's White's press conference irony. She blasted refs for not protecting Clark. She wanted more foul calls. She wanted physicality to be punished. And yet she's the one stifling Clark with bad schemes, poor spacing, and archaic game plans. It's hypocrisy, loud and clear. Great coaches build around stars. Look at Vegas and Aja Wilson. Look at the Liberty with Breena Stewart and Sabrina. They elevate their stars. Indiana has done the opposite. Time is running out. Caitlin Clark won't wait forever. She's already fielding overseas interest. She's already dodging awkward post-game questions. And if the Fever front office doesn't wake up soon, they're not just going to lose games. They're going to lose the most valuable player in modern women's basketball. So here's your call to action. If you've had enough of the nonsense, drop a free Caitlin in the comments. Slam that like button. Make some noise. Let Indiana's front office know the fans are done waiting. We're not here for equal opportunity mistakes. We're here for Clark brilliance, for fireworks, for magic. And if you want more no-holds-barred WNBA commentary, subscribe and turn on all notifications. This story isn't over. It's just beginning.